Welcome to the Truth and Reason page. We are a Christian organization, and I believe a Christian has only one mission, and that is the Great Commission. We have been commissioned to make disciples out of all nations, and that is what we are here to do. To introduce you to theology, apologetics, and all the controversial questions of life and involving faith. Kindly subscribe to our pages and follow us on this wonderful journey. God bless you.
Hello, lovely people, and welcome back to another video. Today I want to share with you about the Great Commission. I know you heard those words before, and I want us to look at what it means. What is the Great Commission? What is it all about? First of all, I'd like to define what a commission is. A commission, as described by Merriam-Webster, is an authorization or command to act in a prescribed manner or perform a prescribed act. For the purposes of this video, I'm going to stick with the latter part of that definition, and that is an authorization to perform a prescribed act. A commission also is a charge, it's a divine imperative in our case. Now in Matthew 28, moments before Jesus ascended into heaven after his resurrection, he gathered his now 11 disciples on a mountain in Galilee and gave them a charge, a commission, as defined earlier. Jesus, as the risen Lord, having been given all authority in heaven and earth, he sent out his disciples, including you and I, on an errand which has lasted for millennia and is still ongoing in many parts of the world. An errand which will later be known as the Great Commission. The question therefore remains, what did Jesus commission us to do, and what is so great about it? The first thing the commission involves is to go. The commission consists of going. A willingness to go anywhere and everywhere for the sake of Christ is expected of us. The people to whom we've been sent, unfortunately, would almost always never come to us. Maybe in an alternate universe, they would, but in this world, we are being sent to go and find them. Jesus in his days on earth had to go and seek and save the lost. The key word here is to seek. In order to seek, we must go. For us to fulfill this commission, we need to get off our comfortable pews and go. Then and only then can we fulfill this mission. There's a reason why the spelling of the gospel starts with a goal. Number 2, make disciples. Here we are tasked to make disciples. To make involves a careful step-by-step approach to break something that's not there into existence. We are to make the people we meet into disciples. A disciple is an understudy, a follower of who, in our case, Christ. We are not called to make others followers of ourselves, or our pastor, or even our church, and preferred doctrine, but Christ himself. We are to patiently take time and effort to train and instruct these people who most likely are everything Christ isn't, and to make them like Christ. And that is discipleship. In verse 20 of Matthew 28, Jesus asks that we are to teach them to obey everything he has commanded us. We are to teach them the words and commands of Christ. The disciple is to understand that he or she has come under new management. They are not their own bosses again. Christ is their head and they ought to obey him. And that's what it means to make disciples. And the third thing, baptize them. Now this has become a sort of a bone of contention between scholars and Christian sects. But purposefully, I'm skipping all of that controversy. Christ consciously and purposefully adds that we are to baptize after we have made them disciples. Whatever the case, baptism is a necessary statement that needs to be made as a final step towards the completion of our mission. Now, before you throw the example of the thief on the cross at me, don't forget this instruction was given by the man who was hanging next to that thief and who also gave him access into the kingdom. It's the same person who knows what's important and what's not. And in this commission, he says, baptize them, period. There's no need for argument. Now, what's so great about this commission? What makes this commission different from any other commission we may be involved in or we may have been sent on? Number 1 is the sheer size of the mission. Christ implores us to make disciples of all nations, not some, but all. Not just a few group of people secluded in an area, but all men everywhere of all nations. This is such an ambitious thing to ask of a group of people. But somehow Christ believes that it can be done, and therefore it should be done. And that is why it's a great thing. Number 2, it's a great commission because we have a chance to change the world. Now hear me. We have the unique chance as believers because of this command by Jesus to shape history and to set it on the right course. How? By making disciples of all nations, one man at a time. Jesus, without referencing his divine origins or nature, can be said with little objection to have been morally perfect, and that he had a very high moral standard, of which some have suggested to be too high to follow or even unrealistic. Now this is why I'm saying that imagine us making every man a little bit more like Jesus, because that is what discipleship is, to make men a little more like Christ. Such a blessed thought. This is why it is a great commission, and it must be followed, because we have been given the great task of changing the world, something politicians and world thinkers have tried and couldn't do. Lastly, it is a great commission because of the one who commissioned us. Remember, I defined commission as an authorization to perform a specific act. Here in the Great Commission, we have a commissioner with the greatest authority, authorizing us to perform a specific act. It can only be a great thing if it took the risen Lord of all the earth to commission us to do it. Christ, before ruling out this mission, states that all power in heaven and on earth had been given unto him. Not a gentle Jesus meek and mild, not a wounded, beaten down Jesus. No, but a risen, almighty, all-powerful Jesus, who sends us on this mission, and with the backing of all that power, he authorizes us to go and make disciples. It can only mean that this errand he sends us on is of utmost importance to him, and if he's backing us with all his might, then that commission has to be a great thing. The mission is great because the one who commissions us is greater. I therefore want to humbly suggest that every believer has only one mission, and that's the Great Commission. It's not a suggestion. It is a divine imperative, and it must be treated as such. It's not reserved for the preacher alone or the ultra-spiritual. No. It is for all who name the name of Christ, whether doctor, lawyer, mason, carpenter, footballer, you name it. Your aim should be one, and that is, how do I make disciples of the people I find myself of? Now, don't hesitate in this venture, because the one who sends us has assured us that he will be with us always, even to the end of the age. Now, let's be about our Master's business. Thank you, God bless you, and see you in the next video. Bye-bye.